Ohio 3-day eviction notice. To fill out an Ohio 3-day eviction notice, I guess before we even get to that, an Ohio 3-day eviction notice must have the following language that I've just highlighted. And it must be in bold or bigger type or both, or somehow set off from the rest of the text in the 3-day eviction notice. So that would be the first thing that you need to check. And we want to address the notice to all tenants who are occupying the premises that you wish to evict. If you know the tenants' names, you should include them here. If you are unsure of the tenants' names, you should make a reasonable effort to determine their names and place them here. If you've made a reasonable effort and have not been able to determine all the tenants' names, then you just put the ones that you have here, and you may have to proceed with your eviction filing by naming the other tenants as John or Jane Doe. Right here we would put the address of the rental unit from which you want to evict the tenants. A lot of people mistake grounds for eviction as the address of the rental unit, but the grounds for the eviction are the reasons for the eviction. The number one reason is usually non-payment of rent. Other reasons include non-payment of utility bills, non-payment of security deposit, unauthorized occupants, and you could have several other breaches of the lease that you would put here. It is a great idea to spell out every reason for the eviction in this blank. Some courts may hold you to whatever you've listed on the 3-day notice as the grounds or as the reasons for the eviction in your eviction complaint. In other words, some courts won't let you add additional reasons later that were not part of the 3-day eviction notice. And then you can print or sign your name here as the landlord, the property manager, or the notice server. Contrary to what many tenants might argue, you do not have to sign this. You do not have to have it notarized, at least not that I'm aware of. You can simply print or type in your name here, and then the date would be the date of posting the notice. You generally want to post the notice on the front door with tape, securing the notice to the door so it cannot blow off. You most likely should take a picture of the notice on the door, and you should keep at least one, if not several, copies of the 3-day notice that you served. I don't recommend sending the notice via certified mail because the tenant will probably never sign for it. I don't recommend sending the notice by ordinary mail unless you have posted the notice on the door and you just want to send the notice via ordinary mail as well, but that could create its own set of problems. Don't send the notice via text or email. Tenants can always claim they never received the text or the email, and then what are you going to do? If you need to go beyond photographing the notice on the door, you can bring a witness with you as you post the notice on the door. Or you can hand the notice to the tenant directly, but that makes it difficult to take a picture of. And as you'll see here, the notice is telling the tenant, you are hereby notified that the landlord wants you, on or before 3 business days following the posting date below, to leave the premises you now occupy. So, now we're talking about calculating the 3 days. The day of posting in many jurisdictions in Ohio does not count, and weekends and holidays do not count in many jurisdictions in Ohio. In some jurisdictions in Ohio, weekends and holidays do count, and I believe the day of posting does count. If you don't know which jurisdiction you're in, you're best off following, or usually best off following, the rule that the day of posting, weekends and holidays do not count. It's hard to go wrong there. So for example, if you posted it on a Friday, Friday would not count. Saturday, Sunday would not count. If Monday is not a legal holiday, it would count. Tuesday and Wednesday would count. And then once the 3-day notice expires at the end of the day on Wednesday, then you could file your complaint on Thursday. It's important to understand that you cannot file your eviction complaint until the 3-day notice has expired. So to get the clock ticking, you need to post the notice. Because, I'll repeat, you cannot file the eviction complaint with the court until the 3-day notice has completely expired. A lot of people also wrongly think, that all they have to do is post the 3-day notice to evict the tenant. So they think when the 3-day notice expires, they can set the tenant stuff out and change the locks. This is wrong. You need to proceed through the entire court eviction process: hearing, writ of restitution, applying for the set out, scheduling a set out, having the bailiff show up at the set out, and directing you where to place the tenant's belongings. So you can only conduct the process through the entire court eviction proceedings. You have to do much more than the 3-day notice. However, if the tenant leaves during the 3-day notice period and hasn't left anything of any value behind besides trash, and that would be items that even a judge would consider trash, and judges are probably pretty liberal in their construction of what constitutes trash. You can take the premises back, reclaim the premises if the tenant has completely moved out. If there's any doubt whether the tenant has moved out or not, you should proceed with the eviction process. So I think I've tried to answer most all the questions that people have about 3-day eviction notices in Ohio. I will post a link below where you can obtain one. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to submit any comments, any questions in the comment section below.